what do we want to create from this place of wholeness, of fullness, instead of that place of fear, just running from the tigers and trying to prove ourselves all the time?
Welcome to the Alive and Aligned podcast, a show dedicated to helping you live a life of truth and share your fullest gifts with the world. I'm your host, Pete Byrne, and I'm here to open your mind to new perspectives, to introduce you to some epic humans who are already out there living their deepest truth. So now just grounding in, taking a breath, letting go of anything you're still holding onto from today, and just opening up to receiving this episode now. Let's dive on in.
Greetings and a very warm welcome to this episode of the Alive and Aligned podcast, titled Running from the Tigers. Also, maybe could have been titled The 3 Stages of Life Transition. And I want to explore an analogy that I love to use, which is describing this process of waking up in an unconscious, conventional, and kind of standard, unintentional life that many people tend to wake up in and find themselves deeply unhappy in. And why that is, and how they are stuck in that, but tend to just stay in it. And then how one might transition into a life of intentionality and purpose and more fulfillment. And the kind of stages that one needs to go through and passes through on the way from that, unfulfilled place to that place of alignment and moving forward from a place of, really intentional purpose. So that's my intention. And the analogy is quite simple. I want you to take a moment now, if you're, doing things, or maybe you're driving or focusing on some other activity, this is happening in the background. I want you to just take a moment, okay, and tune in for a couple of minutes. Start by closing down the eyes, okay, or just going inward, maybe a soft gaze outward. And imagine yourself waking up, okay, to find your hands on the wheel of a car, okay? So you're driving a car, you're in this body, and you don't really know how you got here. You're just kind of in the car, in the seat. You're looking around. You see that you're on this highway. It's kind of in this desert, but there's a road ahead of you, and you're driving on this highway. You look down, and your foot is on the gas pedal. It's you're going actually extremely fast. You're going full speed on this road, on this kind of highway. You're the only car on this highway. And you look at the gas meter, and it's actually beeping. It's going beep, 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 and it's in the red. Now, you're just driving straight, but you're not really sure why you are. You're just kind of in the car and you're like, okay, well, this is where I'm at. You're not really sure if you're moving towards any kind of real goal or destination, but all you can realize is that, you're in this situation, foot's on the gas pedal, the fuel tank is super low, and your hand's on the wheel. You're on this highway. And then if you were to take a look to the left or to the right of you, maybe in the rearview mirror, you would see a pack of rabid tigers. So these large, crazy tigers chasing you, okay? They're just behind. And you really need to stop for gas, but the problem is these tigers will eat you alive if you stop, okay? So that's the moment you realize, and you're reminded of the fear, okay? The fear that's been driving you and the reason why you've had your foot on the gas pedal this whole time. The reason why you've had to just keep pushing. And even though your gas is in the red, you can't stop, okay? So this is called stage 1. This is the stage of driving through life in fight or flight and doing things seeming like we're moving somewhere, trying to achieve something. And on the outside, it might seem like we're moving somewhere or going somewhere on this highway. But in reality, we're not really moving towards anything as the primary reason for our movement. The primary reason for this full speed driving and movement is the tigers, because the tigers, what they represent are deep ingrained fears, our subconscious conditioning and programming, past traumas, and then these deeper pieces of these beliefs of I'm not worthy, I need to prove myself, or I need to have money, and if I don't push myself to the absolute limit, then I am not safe and I will die. Or I need to prove myself or I'll be exiled by everyone. So these are the kind of tigers that can be behind us, that can be in the background chasing us, that we might not even be aware of. A lot of people aren't aware of until they wake up to find their hands on the wheel with their foot on the gas pedal and the gas in the red. So this kind of part of stage one can be challenging because people can wake up to find themselves in this situation, in the car with the tigers, and they don't really know what to do next, okay? Because they're kind of stuck. They can't really stop because the tigers are going to get them and then they're dead. But the gas is about to run out. The engine's about to blow up. Like this car has been really, you've been driving it for many, many years without realizing. And only now the true weight of this situation is starting to land. So yeah, this is kind of a challenging situation, okay, to be in. And most people end up in this situation of like a loop where they're stuck in maybe in a business or in an identity that is self-perpetuating this like driving towards burnout effectively. So they've been moving towards a goal for whatever reason, maybe believing on some level they needed to prove themselves or show everyone around them that they were good enough. And one day they wake up to realize, I'm not happy. I am unfulfilled. But they can't get out. They're stuck in this car because the tigers are still there. And they can't really stop driving, but now the fear kicks in because it's a self-perpetuating downward spiral. So what do we do? What do you do if you're in that situation? You're in this car or you're in that life and you wake up to realize that the identity you've created for yourself or the business that you've created and put all your assets and energy and time and, safety into is actually not doing it. And you're running in the red. Your body's about to break down. Well, stage two, it's kind of a bit of a shocker, but good news is that there are actually no tigers. I'll say that again. The tigers that you're running from in the rearview mirror, these big, crazy, large, rabid tigers, do not exist. They are as we said, conditioning, fears, traumas, beliefs. But if we realize that they are just a deep part of us, program, fears running the show, and we have the opportunity to let go of them and work through them and release them, then well, if there's no tigers, then why are we driving so fast? So step two is realizing that actually I don't have to push and run anymore. All these things I've been running from, they aren't actually real. The tigers aren't real. They're not really there. So this is where we get to start to bring the car down to a halt. We can slow down. We maybe even feel fear from slowing down the car because we've been driving this car, like we've been conditioned to drive the car fast for many, many, many years. Maybe our whole life we've been running from these tigers and we've been building a life in a way that allows us to evade them, but not anymore. If we can start to work through letting go of these fears, the conditioning, completing and healing the traumas, recognizing and feeling that it is fully safe to stop the car, we can finally park, we can chill, we can take it easy, we can refuel, we can repair the engine, and really actually just set up camp, just pop a tent there on the side of the road. We're in this nice, desert and we can just stop here and chill. We don't need to run anymore. Don't need to run away from these tigers, these deep fears anymore that have been driving us for so long. And that can be in itself massively relieving to just get to like stop and chill for a while. Now, here's the thing. Many people might stop the car for like an hour or two, maybe a day. And then they go, all right, let's go again. And to some degree, the tigers are still active in that case, because really what's important is if you've spent most of your life living in a fight or flight state, then it's very important to take some time to recharge the batteries and come back to and really find yourself and take time away from that environment, because maybe you're finding you're still waking up in the morning and you're, anxious, checking the phone. Shit's going to go wrong. Maybe you're watching your bank account every day and worried that you're going to lose all your money. You're watching the markets. These are signs that the tigers are still in some way at play. Okay? These deep ingrained fears. I'm going to lose all my money. I'm going to and it's all coming back to evolutionary biology in a sense. And our kind of caveman, prehistoric fears of survival. It's very primitive stuff. So if you recognize that, once again, these tigers, they're not actually real. They're not really actually impacting you in the way that it feels like. It feels really real, but they're not real. And then you can slowly ease into this process of pitching up a tent, slowing down the car, and just being in stage two without needing to go anywhere or do anything, without needing to relapse back into, I need to make more money, I need to build my business, I need to be seen, I need to, be good to others, prove myself. Anything that you've been doing when driving that car and driving yourself into the ground over all these years, don't need to do any more in stage 2. You just need to chill on the side of the road and refuel yourself. And that might take months, that might take a year or two just to really take that time. But you've deserved it at that point. Like, you've done the work. So final step of this is stage 3. So now you're rested, you're recharged, you've had some space, you've got some time to really, you spent the time to really get to know yourself better. You've got a bit more of an awareness of who you are and what you like and what you don't like. So you know that in letting go of those tigers, and you've now got the opportunity to move forward from a place of awareness and true purpose and tuning into intuition and like following, what is it that feels really good for me? What would I like to do in my life? Where would I like to drive to now? Okay. Since I no longer just need to drive full speed away from the tigers, where would I like to drive towards? And this is where we can start to set and move towards and figure out, like, what is our life purpose? What would make us really fulfilled? What is that actualization that we can pursue? What is that transcendent state where we can serve and give and uplift others and really share our gifts with the world? And what do we want to create from this place of wholeness, of fullness, instead of that place of fear, just running from the tigers and trying to prove ourselves all the time? So what we can do then is we can really take all of this, renewed and recharged energy, and instead of needing to floor to the, put the pedal to the metal and run away from the tigers all the time, we can now cruise towards the promised land. We can enjoy the journey. We can move at a leisurely pace and take in the sights along the way and enjoying life on the path to where we really want to go, to the promised land, to that final destination. And we can know every time we look in that rear view mirror, we're no longer doing it from a place of fear. We're no longer running from those tigers of the mind or of the body. We are now doing it fully from that place of deeper truth and alignment. So I hope that this analogy of running from the tigers can help you to reflect on your life journey and to tune into whether you are still running from some tigers. Are you still living in a way that is in this high tone fight or flight state where you're constantly on the go and you're just pushing and driving and you're not really sure why? Maybe occasionally you catch yourself and you go, what am I doing? Why do I wake up in a panic state? Why do I find it so hard to sleep? Why am I booking in the 17th meeting for the week when I know my body just wants rest, but I just can't stop? The addiction to going, to working, the foot on the gas. Is that something you're currently experiencing? In which case, what are the tigers that are really driving that ship? Like, what are the things that you're running from or not accepting or not really truly acknowledging that are actually ultimately running the show? And is there a way to tune into them, let go of them, and then recalibrate your behavior to like, actually, no, I need rest right now. I need to stop the car for a bit. I need to take some time. Even though it feels scary, even though I know I've been running from these tigers all my life, can I do it? Yes, you can. Then just trusting that from that place of rest and knowing yourself on a much deeper level, you could rev up the engine again and you can start moving towards a bigger dream, knowing that it's a place of true alignment and not coming from a place of fear. You can move fully with wholeness towards that final destination of yours, and you can enjoy the ride on path to your purpose. So I'd like to close this episode with a little song that I wrote about this concept of running from the tigers. So as mentioned, it's like in running from things that are deeply ingrained in us, it leads to a life that's really quite unfulfilling. And in the switch up into the pursuit of purpose, there gets to be a repatterning. There gets to be a new way that we choose. And this song is really just a reflection of like someone who's stuck in that car in stage 1, who is pushing and striving consistently, but it never seems to be enough. That they're really wondering what's next, wondering what did I have to do. And that's a position that I've personally been in a number of times and still occasionally drop into. I still find personally, I still have some tigers. I'm not going to lie. And so in that, this is also a reflection of my pursuit of finding that ultimate freedom, of being able to have the freedom to do whatever it is I want in the world, and my journey to that place. So this is called All Day, All Night. Well, I've been working all day, all night, just trying to get by, but never seems to be enough. I've been breaking my back, striving, full speed driving, but the tigers keep catching up. What do I have to do to make it out of here? Sometimes it feels so hard to breathe, and I've been working all day, all night, in the pursuit of that ecstasy, yeah. Cause I've been working all day, all night, just trying to get by, but never seems to be enough. I've been dreaming new horizons, fantasizing, but the tigers keep catching up now. What do I have to do to make it out of here? Sometimes the road gets hard to see, and I've been working all day, all night, in the pursuit of that ecstasy. Because you know there's something I need that's called to me now. And now all I really want to know is, am I enough? Well, don't you know there's something I need that's clearer to see now? Oh, when you told me that you wanted more, is this enough? Cause I've been working all day, all night, just trying to get by, but never seems to be enough. I've been breaking my back, striving, full speed driving, but the tigers keep catching up. So what do I have to do to make it out of here? Sometimes it gets so hard to breathe, and I've been working all day, all night, in the pursuit of that ecstasy, yeah. Haha.